Be cool.
Be cool, y'all.
Why would be cool?
Wait, who's calling?
Kevin Murphy?
Kevin Murphy here.
Wow,
Hey.
that's awesome.
Wow, what an entrance.
Yeah.
Just like right, it's like
Murphy
Kevin
here.
Murphy here. What up?
Hi.
Hello, Desert Bus Dwellers. How you doing?
Doing very well. That is so weird to hear that voice say those words.
I have been told. My wife tells that to me all the time. But I have a terrible cold today, so I've actually got my Nick Nolte voice on. So
Wow. Well, thank
need
you
me
so
to do
much
my-
for thank you so
my
much
Nick
for
Nolte impression. I'm all right.
thank you so much for calling us, even though you're not well.
Oh, my pleasure. But I've been not well for most of my life, so
So you're used
having
to
a
it.
cold's a whole different issue. That's right.
Well, that's good. So, how familiar are you with just what in the hell we're doing?
You're Canadian, you know,
Yes.
so God knows from there what the, you know. We
That's a
really
good
don't
bit.
know what goes on up there, down here. You know, we pretend to. You guys raise wheat, and you've got skiing, and you make a decent vodka, and other than that, you know, we don't know what the hell goes on up there. It's probably all missile silos.
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like a really fun thing. I don't know how long you guys go on, but
Well,
it seems like you're. How many days are you going to be doing this?
Right now, we've got enough donations to go for 117 hours, of which we have done 20 and a half.
Holy cats!
Yeah, so we're going for a while yet.
The more donations, the longer you stay on, huh? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just brutal. Mm-hmm. It's like the opposite of National Public Radio pledge weeks. You know?
Yeah, it's the
Pay them, they shut up. But you guys, if they pay you, you just keep talking. That's kind of cool.
yeah, and our suffering increases.
Now, and you, a bunch of you folks are from Loading Ready Run. Is that right?
Yes,
That is
yeah,
correct.
that's us. Yeah.
Well, you're world renowned right there, for crying out loud.
Wow, I'm amazed that you've heard of us. That's super cool.
It's Liz. Is Liz there?
Yes, Liz is here.
Hey,
Damn
Kevin.
it, Liz. How are you, honey?
Good. I guess I'm waving at you, but I'm assuming do you not have video?
I don't have video. Yeah, you
Okay.
guys
Oh,
all
that's a shame.
naked or something? What's going on there?
If you
Maybe.
go
We
to
make it happen.
if you go to
Maybe.
desertbus.org,
Ah.
recommend that you on the main page there's a live feed of us. I
I'll
recommend that
mute
you
it so I don't get the feedback. thing
mute
going
the
in.
live feed so that but you can see us at least.
It'll be delayed by about.
Yeah, it's gonna be delayed a bit, but
Are you familiar at all with our show Unskippable?
Yes, I am. As a
Really?
matter of fact, yes. Very
Fantastic.
entertaining. Well, there you are.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, you look like refugees or something.
A little bit.
Kind of are on a bus.
Yeah. When we started doing Unskippable, a lot of people in the sort of the feedback threads were like, they're like, what the hell? This is like Mystery Science Theater, and we were like, yeah, it is, because we love Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah. No, it's very fun. You guys do a fine job with an ugly task.
It's dark. There's some bad games.
Indeed.
We got a bunch of questions for you here from our that people have posted.
All right, I'll try to evade them and lie
All right, that sounds great.
as much as possible.
What this is probably a question that I'm sure you've gotten a whole lot, but what movie did you do on Mystery Science Theater, or on Riff Tracks that horrified you the most?
Oh boy, there's a few, and there's different classifications, because on Riff Tracks we make fun of current movies, and the last Transformers movie was
my
just
God.
oh dear God, I mean
Oh,
that just they kept saying they
Ash would love that.
they get better, the third one's
No, they
better,
don't.
No.
and,
no,
and it's a lie. It's just a lie. It hurts so much. It took 5 of us a week to write the script for that film. Because we had to keep running away and crying. But other than that, I mean, usually they're delightful, but we've got a few at Mystery Science Theater. We got a few creepy films in, like one that was famously called Red Zone Cuba was what it was called. It was about a bunch of gangsters who decided to join the Bay of Pigs operation and go to Cuba and try to overthrow Castro. The thing is, it was filmed in Nevada, out in the desert. So they tried to make it look like like Florida, which is very difficult to do in Nevada.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. Coleman Francis was the name of the director, and I think he probably spent some time in, federal lockup or something. He's just a very strange guy. We had to cut out a rape and murder scene from the thing, and it was just, it had all the qualities of a snuff film without the charm.
Wow.
So that's bad. That's as bad as I can remember. That
Fair
one really
enough.
hurt. Yeah.
Given that you were/are rarely on camera with Mystery Science Theater and Riff Tracks, what's the strangest place that you've been recognized by a fan?
Oh yeah, that's an easy one. I was at my health club in the shower.
Oh no!
My junk, and this guy comes up and says, "Hey, Tom Servo. All right, yeah, I know you. That's cool, Professor Bobo." And he's naked too, and he's shaking my hand, and he's telling me what a big fan of mine he is. And it was really, really creepy.
Naked handshakes not cool. Yeah, not a little.
It was very, very creepy.
Much. Sorry, I love this question because much like Desert Bus, because we too have a history with these movies. Is mid-November a hell month for you, as it signals a new Twilight film?
Oh no! You see, those are just delight. We can't. It's like eating candy, like bowl after bowl of sweet candy when we do those Twilight films. They're just so self-important and serious
so
and makeup filled and angst ridden and just silly. They're just wonderful. I love doing those.
Yeah, those are definitely some of my favorite riffs.
Thanks.
What I love about the riff tracks, and we get this a lot when we do Unskippable, is we'll rip a game apart and people will be like, "Hey, that game's actually really good," and we'll be like, "Well, yeah, it is, but the opening scene is garbage, and we can still make fun of it." What I love is that one of my all-time favorite riff tracks is the one for Casino Royale, which I love that movie, but that is a really solid riff.
Thank you. That was fun. It was we've done some good movies just to challenge ourselves to see if we can still have fun with it. We did Casablanca, which actually
that was a
turned out quite
great
well.
riff.
But it was a challenge to see, do we just do this with crappy films, or can we do this with a good film? And we did it with Jaws, and we did it with the Lord of the Rings films, and we all, I went to the theater to see all of those Lord of the Rings films. I was a fan. Still am.
The Jaws one, when I was watching it with my friends, that's the only one that I think about 2/3 of the way through we were like, could you guys just shut up so we can watch this movie? Because we hadn't seen it in so long, and it turns out Jaws is a really good movie. But your song during the end credits completely made up for it.
Oh, that was fun. That was Bill Corbett wrote the lyrics for that song, and I wrote the music. And Bill's spouse Virginia sang on it too, and she just did that wonderful chorus on that. That was a lot of fun to do that.
Wow. There's another question here. In the process of making an episode of Mystery Science Theater, and I assume you can extrapolate this for Riff Tracks, what is enjoyable about it, and what is really tedious?
See, this is what I love about you guys. You say process, It sounds so cool,
What
Liz
is
up there,
what
she's
is
on
the
phone saying,
process of making Mystery Science Theater, eh?
process, But process just sounds so dignified. So, of course, I completely forgot the question. You're going to have to ask again.
In the process of making an episode of Mystery Science Theater, what is enjoyable about it, and what did you find really tedious?
Well, lunch is usually the most enjoyable thing. Lunch is great. The tedium really comes in when we first compile the script and we have to go through it as a group. And we all get together and we review the script, and there will be times, especially with a really, really shitty movie like Transformers, where we just have to sit over and over, looking at the same scene over and over of Shia LaBeouf yelling, just screaming like an ape, and we have to make it funny.
And they're so long, those movies.
Yeah. Oh dear God! I mean, that last one was like 2 hours and 45 minutes long. And so we're looking at the same scene over and over again, and we can't stop until we make it funny, and it's brutal. That's the most brutal part of it. But lunch is definitely the most enjoyable part of the process. And beer is the other thing. We go to a pub called O'Brien's. We record out in San Diego, and we record our movie, and we start early in the morning, and then we finish up early afternoon. And then we go drink beer for a couple hours, and that's also quite enjoyable. That it just helps to get the movie back out of your head.
Smart.
Yes.
Thank you. What do you think makes a film enjoyably bad rather than just plain bad?
Oh, good question.
Oh well, films like I keep using Transformers as my whipping boy because
That's fine.
That's a good one.
That's fine.
It's an
yeah,
acceptable
I don't
thing.
think Michael Bay ever had any intention of making a good film, and he doesn't really try to make bad films. He just does that by genetics. But he tried to make a marketable film, so there's a certain amount of cynicism in that film that just makes me angry, and I can't really enjoy it. We've recently done a couple of these old chestnuts, and I'm trying to think of one's called Galaxy Invader. And it's it's an old somebody tried to put together a really scary science fiction movie about an alien who comes down to Earth, and of course it's a sponge rubber monster mask, and it's creepy, but it's fun because somebody really tried to make an effective, sincerely scary movie, and they failed miserably. And it's that failure that makes it fun for us, is that they try to do it and it doesn't quite work, and so there's a lot to make fun of there. Birdemic is another example. I just love that film. I just love that film because it just tried so hard and was so inept. It's like it was made by a deaf, colorblind person who can't speak the language.
I told you guys.
Yeah, she told you.
Yeah. Worse than The Room. Because The Room had decent sound balance.
Yeah. And in some way, The Room was sort of creepier because he had to look at Tommy Wiseau's naked body. And there's no naked body.
You guys,
and I'm really glad for that.
The riff really made that movie watchable, actually,
Yeah.
because those like 10 2-hour sex scenes were just otherwise.
Oh, dear Lord.
It's weird because the first time that it happened, it was sort of like, oh, that's a whole lot of disembodied noises. This is sort of irritating. I'm not sure about this. And then the second scene, it's like, oh, thank God, you guys are back.
We had something different with that because we couldn't, since we were just doing an audio riff for the film, a commentary, we couldn't actually cut the scene as much as we desperately wanted to do it. So we had to come up with something new and different for it, and that seemed to work pretty well.
Dear Kevin, this is a question from a guy named Kyle. Dear Kevin, I own almost every single Nicolas Cage movie and have about 150 bad movies on DVD. Can I somehow sue you for causing me to go down this lane in my life?
Dear Kyle, no, you should pay me, my friend. All the wonders we brought into your life. And the Nicolas Cage thing is your own issue. I don't know what I can do about it.
How many times do you usually have to go through watching a movie to get enough to riff on it and get the timing right?
Well, when we write it, we don't just run through the film and just throw comments on the fly. We start and stop. So I actually end up spending a whole lot of time with a portion of the film. There's 5 of us who write. Pardon me, that's Mike and Bill and Connor Listoka and Sean Thomason, who are 2 very funny fellows who are in San Diego on our writing team. And we will cut the movie up in 5 sections, and we'll each do a section of the film, and you just sit there and you start and you stop and you go over it again, and you start and stop and you go over it again until you find something funny to say in that particular scene. Again, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard, but we figure that it takes probably an hour per minute of film to just do the first draft. Yeah. And then we get together and we review the film together, and by the time the thing's done, with a feature film, Hollywood feature film, we've each probably spent 40 hours with the film. So very familiar with the film by that time.
The follow-up question is, are there any movies that you've riffed that you can still enjoy watching afterwards?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, the Lord of the Rings films are up there. Jaws is up there, the ones that I've mentioned already. I love Wicker Man just because it's such a phenomenally stupid, sexist, bizarre film. Oh, hi, Mr. Duck. Isn't he cute? You just cut in a picture of a duck there, didn't you?
Yeah. What, did we?
Oh, yeah, you did the close-up.
Just for a minute. Oh, weird.
It was a close-up of a duck. No, there he is. Yeah, Wicker Man is just... there he is, right there. Wicker Man was one of my faves. It's just so bizarre. I can't believe that film was even made.
Yeah. My introduction to that was the clip of him in a bear suit punching someone out, and it was just amazing.
Yes, it's wonderful. Punching out women in a bear suit.
There's 2 requests here for for you to say specific things if you're up for that.
I don't know. I'm got those union contracts. I don't know if I can do anything. Oh, Boomer, come here. My dog he's barking at there's coyotes outside, and he's very excited. No, you can't go out there. You can't see my dog, but he's very excited right now.
I'm sure.
All right, what are the requests?
Oh,
that's cute, too.
Someone says, ask him to say dull surprise.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to remember what that's from,
I'm not
and
entirely
I
clear
think
on
it
it
was
myself.
that film we did with Kathy Ireland. Okay, here we go. Ready? Get your recorders ready. Dull surprise. Thank you. Thank you very much.
The Thunderdome line.
Oh, I don't know which one that is.
I'd really like you to say something about Thunderdome, Kevin. I think it'd be really good if you could say...
Can't we please get beyond Thunderdome?
Okay.
Over and over this. Can't we?
Can I make a special request?
Let's just, as a community, let's get
beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah.
That's if Desert Bus can accomplish that would be wonderful. What did you want to use?
We don't need another hero. We don't need to know the way home. All we need is what's beyond Thunderdome, people. Now spread that message, and that tote board will be up to 100,000 in no time.
As a resident of Alberta, the place where the final sacrifice was filmed,
Oh God.
could I please get a Ralph Dower?
Did you catch that?
I didn't hear the end of the question.
Oh.
Okay.
Could I get a Ralph Dower?
Ralph Tower. I love that film. And we really tore Canada a fresh one in that one. That song that Bill wrote, where he has the line, there's Servo in a Mounties costume singing, "You lousy, stinking, francophonic, bacon-loving bastards."
Yeah. It's so good. I think we've actually performed that on previous Desert Bus years. Are you going to be doing the rest of the Harry Potter movies? I'm going to assume so.
It's sort of like an obligation. We sort of have to, as much as we don't necessarily want to, because they just get more grim as they go along, and Voldemort's nose keeps getting smaller and smaller, and more digital. And the best thing about it is, of course, not the fact that they're each 6.5 hours long, but they do now take themselves more seriously, and they've wrung every bit of humor out of the film. So that actually makes our job a lot easier. We don't have to compete with their jokes.
What is your favorite nickname from Space Mutiny?
Oh, geez. Blast Hard Cheese. It has to be
Nice.
when Mike says, "We put our faith in Blast Hard Cheese." That's another Canadian film, is it not?
I think so.
It might be.
That and Overdrawn at the Memory Bank.
That's the one where
Listen to the reaction in the room.
Space Mutiny is the one where the woman dies and is then on the bridge in the next scene.
Yeah.
And it was done on the original Battlestar Galactica sets. They actually
Right.
took the sets, and it took them
And
over.
all the exteriors from Battlestar too.
They even took Lauren Green's Moo costume and put it on Cameron Mitchell.
Big McLarge huge. Sorry, the chat thick McRun fast. The IRC chat is now just referencing other names from that episode.
Oh,
Red Cube.
What's Stump Chunkman is I think my favorite. Stump Chunkman. Roll fizzle beef.
that's good.
Slab bulkhead.
You can imagine we just threw out meaty and metallic sounding names for about an hour, and then we actually had to pare the list down from about 100.
Nice. I'm just seeing what other things. Oh, we also have some Riff Tracks DVDs that we're going to be doing our silent
auction on Wednesday morning.
We'll be silent auctioning those on Wednesday morning, which I just wanted to mention now while people are listening, because theoretically, if someone enjoys the dulcet tones of Kevin Murphy, they would appreciate Riff Tracks.
Yes.
Yeah, and thanks for that, Kevin. I actually got an email from Bill this morning asking if he needed to send DVDs now.
Oh, he's a little late to the game,
yeah,
isn't he?
just a few months, weeks.
Buck Plank Chest. Dirk Hardpack.
No, I'm glad you got him in time.
Thank you.
Smuggling them into Canada for us, Liz, 'cause I didn't want to have to deal with customs.
Yeah, smart.
Can't see.
Well, I hope you get $1 million for each one.
So do we. I'm just trying to think of a good.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does he game? Because we were just talking to Chris, and the Old World Blues is really partially a nod to Mystery Science Theater, right?
Well, that's true. Yeah. Do you play games at all? Video games, computer games?
You know, the last video game that I actually owned and played a lot was Quake.
Hey, well, there's worse games.
What I was gonna say.
Usually when people start a sentence with, "Well, the last game I played," it's usually like Minesweeper or Pac-Man.
Right. Yeah. Or
You know,
Duck Hunt,
so-
which
Pong
I also
these
have
days
a copy
playing
of Duck
Pong
Hunt.
in the arcades? Yes, I do.
Yeah, we did. That's
Video games
oh,
have come a long
that just
way.
reminded me. Anytime the local news does a report on this fundraiser, it after the story it cuts back to the anchors, and then they have to have their little funny quip about what we're doing, and it's
Right.
every time it's like, boy, video game, boy, it sure is different than Pong, isn't it?
But no, Old World Blues
I
really
used
is
to
a loving
love
tribute.
Doom and Quake. And we just it was like between scenes when we were shooting the TV show and the movie. We would just all go to our offices. We actually put a sophisticated network in our studio and offices simply so that we could play Doom and Quake together.
That's
And
awesome.
so there'd be 6 of us on at once and just waxing each other's tails all the time. And it was a great break from the tedium of waiting around for a scene to be lit and ready to shoot. It's a lot of fun.
That's super awesome.
But I don't. Other than that, I really don't. I have Portal. I have every intention to play Portal 2.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And I did play some of Portal 1, but it's one of those things. It takes a commitment of time that unfortunately I have to work, and it's just it would be a great excuse not to work, and that's one of the things that people love about video games. But so I'll give you a full report on Portal next time I see you guys.
Awesome. Well, we'll let you get going since you're under the weather. But I'm going to ask, by way of outro, Johnny, if you could switch the camera back to the duck.
Yep.
So that then hopefully Kevin can join us on his way out, switching it back to normal view. as
Going to help me?
has been requested multiple times. Now I'm sure everyone here will help. So
All right. You ready?
yes.
Normal view, normal view, normal view, normal view. I cried.
Thank you so much, Kevin. It was a pleasure talking to you.
My pleasure. You guys hang in there. Have a fun 100 and God knows how many more hours. Keep going.
Yeah, we will do our best.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, you too. Bye.